Hey, welcome to ManKitchenRecipes. I am Kevin, and today I'm going to do another pork loin. I don't know if you saw the rotisserie pork loin. This is the other half. It's about 2.5 pounds. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cook it like a pulled pork. So we're going to have a pulled pork loin. Yes, this is kind of an experiment. Let's see if this works. I think it will. When it's pulled, it'll probably be like a pulled pork chop. But if you watched my French toast breakfast video, I made bacon, I saved the bacon grease, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that bacon grease right now. Okay, so here's my pork loin. I've already got it wrapped up, ready to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this pineapple mango juice, put it in a cup, and I'm going to inject this little pork loin with this for added flavor. So let me just get that injected. And you just want to stick the needle in and start pushing that juice in the pork loin. Just move it over around 2 to 3 inches apart. Just want to get it nice and filled up with that juice. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bacon grease from my French toast breakfast video that I said I was going to be making something. So I'm going to take the bacon grease, I'm going to suck that up in the injector, and I'm going to inject this pork loin. Same thing like with the juice. I'm just going to move it around. I want to fill it up with that bacon grease because pork loins are very lean. This is going to be a low and slow cook. It needs the moisture. So I figured, you know what? Bacon grease is not only going to add moisture, but it's going to add flavor. And then I'm going to put the bacon grease on the outside of it. And then I'm going to use that to help as my binder for my spices. Okay, now for my spices, I'm going to use my regular SPG, and I'm also going to use my jalapeno salt like I did in the rotisserie pork loin, because that jalapeno salt and the SPG combination for the outside bark was outstanding, so I'm going to use it again. Anyway, I'm going to use the meat stick again today. It's going to be a longer cook. The pork loin rotisserie took a couple hours, and this is probably going to take, I don't know, 4 or 5 maybe, I don't know. But the meat stick is supposed to last 24 hours plus on a charge. So another test for it. Okay, so I'm just going to take my meat stick. I'm going to push it right through the center and all the way till that ceramic touches the meat right there. And the actual temp ring is right about center of this. Okay, now let's get this on the grill. Just going to set it right there in the center. The meat stick right there. Let this go. Look at that. Yeah, we're going to let the meat stick do its thing, and about 165, we're going to wrap it in foil. So we'll see you probably in a few hours or a few seconds on your end. Okay, so my meat stick went off 165. It's been about 4.5 hours, I think it said, maybe 4:40, something like that. So I'm going to get this off of the tailgater. We're going to wrap it up. Oh, before I get too far ahead, after an hour in at 225, I like to let smoke get in there. I turn it up to 250. So 1 hour at 225, 3 hours and 40 minutes at 250. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to put it back in and turn the tailgater up to 300. And then we're going to bring the temp up to 200, 205. We'll check it right around there. All right, so let's get this off. Look at that. You guys looking good. Okay. Look at that. We could eat this right now. Okay, so one thing I did forget to mention, when I put this in, I left that fat cap up just so that all the fat from that can drip down inside. So before I wrap this up, I injected it with that pineapple mango. So I'm going to add some pineapple mango to braise this with. Not a whole lot, maybe a 1/4 cup. And then, so what I'm going to try is I'm going to leave this meat stick in here wrapped inside the foil. Usually when I wrap in foil, I'll go ahead and leave my temperature gauge inside if I have my wired one. So let's just try that and see what happens. Okay, so on this side I got to be really careful since the meat stick is on the right side. All right, let me get this back on the pellet grill and we'll let it go on up to over 200. Okay, we're back in the pellet grill. I turned it up to 300 a few minutes ago. It's up to 315. We'll let it roll. Okay, so I will be in contact with the meat stick. The aluminum foil seemed to jack up the temperature readings and everything, so I wrapped it in some butcher's paper. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I put my wired temp probe in just to compare it. It's at 199. That's my Tenergy, and the MeatStick app is showing 195. The temperature inside was 296. Okay, so my pork loin is up to 203, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it. I'm going to wrap it in some foil. Then we're going to take it inside and I'm going to let it rest for an hour. Then we'll pull it and take a taste test. So let's get this thing off the grill. So let me pull that other temp probe out. Pull this out, get it on the foil, get this thing wrapped up. And look at that little bundle of joy. We're going to take it in the house and let it rest for an hour. And just like that, an hour's gone by, so let's get this thing unwrapped. Get the foil off, and there it is in the butcher's paper. We're going to take it out of the butcher's paper, and then be sure to cut the strings off of your pork loin first. And then after you get the string off, let's just pull that apart. Look at that. Look at that. Pulls apart nice and easy. Now this isn't as juicy as a pork butt, but it's pulling apart really nice. Just use your hands. Look at that bark on that. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, there you have it. That looks amazing. Pulled pork loin. Now, normally, if you look up anything about pulled pork loin, you're going to see it cooked in a crock pot. And, you know, it's delicious in a crock pot. So I had to try it to see if we could do it on a pellet grill. I think we got a good success. Adding that bacon grease in there, I think, helped keep it moist. Adding the SPG and the jalapeno salt that I made for the seasonings on top. Cooking it to 165, wrapping it up, taking it up to 203, letting it rest for an hour, pulling it with your hands. That's the only way to pull stuff. And here we are. Okay, the meat stick worked great. The only problem I had was when I wrapped it in the foil, it just shut off. It was done. So I poked the hole. It was still kind of acting up, so I just wrapped it in butchered paper and called it good. Okay, I do want to interrupt this just for a minute. I reached out to the meat stick about the foil blocking the signal and everything, and they said yes, absolutely. If you're going to wrap in foil, stick the meat stick through the foil. I don't know. I guess I was just impatient. I didn't want to wait. It was, the temps were all kind of jacked up, and then I wrapped it in butcher's paper and everything was fine. But they said as long as you stick it through the foil, everything should be fine. But like I said, I think I kind of was being impatient with that. Anyway, you can wrap it foil, stick it through the foil. Don't wrap it inside the foil. All right. Let's get back to it. But all in all, the meat stick did do really well. It performed well. And now it's time for a taste test. Okay, so I want to try the part with the bark. Look at that. That's really good. Okay, now a piece, just the regular meat. Very tender. It is really good. Man, that bark part is really good. With that jalapeno salt and the SPG. You know, what do you do with pulled pork loin? Just about everything you do with pulled pork. Make sandwiches, make nachos, make tacos, put barbecue sauce, put jalapeno jelly. The list just goes on. This stuff is really good. Okay, so the very next day after I made this, a couple of teenage nephews showed up. So what we did with that shredded pork loin, I made 30 tacos, a pack of 30 corn tortillas. We made all tacos. Check it out. And here's our tacos. Just get one in the fry pan, get them all going, and here's all 30 of them.
Then we're going to put all the dressings. Look at that. This was so good.
They loved it. It was a great use of that pork loin. So, hey, give it a try. It's so good. If you got a pork loin, don't know what to do with it, make pulled pork. Sorry, can't stop eating it. It's that good. Okay. All right, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.